I'm a software engineer. I've been in the internet marketing business since 2011. And since then, I've launched several products, both in the internet marketing niche and in the 3D modeling and animation niche. That was my passion back then. And my first Facebook ads product was launched back in 2013 when I had developed a software that helps users improve their targeting. It was back in 2013, and it had its fair share of success. It was launched on the Warrior Forum back then, as well as ClickBank. And we had reached the fourth position in the ClickBank marketplace, which was really, really hot back then. So I've been in this game for quite a while. And since then, I've launched several other internet marketing products. And then in 2017, I started an e-commerce business that's based on Shopify and Facebook. And in 2018, we started Scalify as a Shopify app, and we launched the first version that was focused on scaling Facebook ads mainly. And today we have helped over 10,000 users on the Shopify App Store scale their business with Facebook ads. And since then, we've been working really hard in the background to develop a new version that was built on top of feedback of our users and on their suggestions. So we saw that there was a market there was an unmet market for a software that would help you from A to Z with your Scalify, with your Facebook strategy, with our own vision. So that's where the new version of Scalify came to be, and we launched it late 2020, and that's what we are getting right now as a lifetime deal.
Awesome. That was really, really amazing. You see, I hope everyone is quite excited over here. They're just waiting now. So let's dive into the presentation, and then we can dive into the actual working of how we can really utilize the power of Scalify to start helping up all of our fellow entrepreneurs.
Sure. If I can share my screen.
Yeah, sure.
Let me check it.
By the way, guys, I can see so many people so many of you guys are like tagging us on Instagram. I can see all our stories. Yep, keep them coming, because in the end, we're gonna announce something for you guys.
Can you see my PowerPoint?
Yeah, perfect. So what I and Minank are going to do is we're going to hide away and stay behind the scene and let you take over.
I'll also take notes. So yeah.
Yeah, so you definitely want to take notes, especially people who are new to Facebook ads and want a good strategy to build their business on top of, because now is the time to focus on a good strategy because of all the updates that are going on, and you want to be on top of your game on this. So in today's presentation, we're going to talk about Facebook ads, a Facebook ad strategy that will help you stay on the top and be competitive on Facebook, no matter what Facebook throws at you. So I've been in this game since 2011, and I know that there was only people like who had a good strategy who were able to survive all the algorithm updates and campaign budget optimization and iOS 14 updates right now, and everything that can get in your way. So if you have a good strategy, you will be competitive, and that's what we're going to cover today. And we're also going to go over Scalify and its features and how it's going to benefit you. All right, so let's get started. So there's a little bit about me. So I was going to talk in this slide, but since I've already introduced myself, I'll go fast through this. So again, I'm a software engineer that's been in internet marketing since 2011. My first Facebook software was from 2013. It was a targeting software that helped businesses better target their audiences on Facebook and get a better return on ad spend on their ads. And since then, I focused on the internet marketing niche, and I've launched several other products until I started an e-commerce, some e-commerce stores on 2017. And in 2018 until now, I've been focused 100% on Scalify and on serving the Scalify users. So a little bit about Scalify. Scalify started as a Shopify app in 2018. The initial goal of Scalify was to help e-commerce businesses grow their businesses with Facebook ads. And it was focused namely on scaling using lookalike audiences and retargeting as well. And we're proud to say that today we have helped over 10,000 users scale their ads on the Shopify platform through our Shopify app. And since then, we've been hard at work developing a new version of Scalify that was built on top of the feedback of our users. And that's the version that we are releasing now as a lifetime deal. And it was also released on Shopify and on other platforms such as WooCommerce, BigCommerce, Wix, and Squarespace back in late 2020. So the goal of this new version is not to just scale your ads, but also to help you with your advertising strategy, making the advertising workflow a lot simpler, a lot faster, and making the results more effective, more predictable, and more consistent. These are some of our Shopify app users, some of our Shopify app reviews that you can see on the Shopify app listing if you want to check it out. So some of you might be asking, like, do Facebook ads still work, right? That's a very common question now to ask with the iOS 14 update and all the hype that's been around it, all the people who are trying to sell you the secret to iOS 14, all the people that want to take advantage of the situation. So yeah, there is the iOS 14 update, and it is going to affect, or it is already affecting how Facebook tracks users on iOS devices when they leave the Facebook app. And we're going to talk extensively about iOS 14 throughout this presentation. There's also the accounts being banned a lot lately, and there's also the fact that you cannot get results as easily as you were able to get them a few years back, where you would just fire an ad of a product on Shopify and start making sales the first day. So that's a thing of the past, and that's now an exception if you're able to do that. Today we're going to talk about the strategy that you have to follow in order to overcome all of these issues. And to add some context to this, here's a screenshot from the backend of Scalify, and we can see that some of our users are spending over 6 figures in the last 30 days. This is the ad spend in USD. And this is just the ad spend. It's not the return on ad spend. If you calculate a return on ad spend between 2 and 3, you can easily exceed the 7 figures mark on most of these accounts. So that's just that just proves that the Facebook ads are indeed still heavily bringing results to our users. And if you stick around until the end, we're going to have a little case study where one of our users was very kind to let us access and share some of the data from the account. So you can see that he has spent $53,000 in the last 30 days on Facebook and generated 3,486 orders with a revenue of $182,000. And that's a pretty nice return on ad spend right there. I calculated that earlier. It made for around 3.6 return on ad spend, which is really, really good if you're running e-commerce ads, which he does. So I like to call this strategy the evergreen advertising strategy because it's the foundation of good advertising that's scalable and that's sustainable throughout time. So this strategy is going to help you whether you are brand new to Facebook advertising, like you're literally new, you don't know Facebook ads yet. So you should know this strategy. because it's the only way you can start on a good foot. How do we say that? Anyway, if it's the only way to start well on Facebook, if you are new. If you are struggling to break even, you're already advertising, but you are struggling to break even and grow with Facebook ads, or if you're already seeing some good results and want to scale to the next level, this will also help you a lot. All right, so let's start at the very basic scenario where you create a first campaign. So you have a product, an offer. It could be an e-commerce product. It could be a landing page where you're selling something. It could be a subscription to something on your website. What you do is you go ahead and create some creatives and start targeting people. Now, this before reaching here, you should already have a good avatar for your ideal customer. You should know who your ideal customer is, their gender, their average age, what they do, etc., to be able to do some targeting using interests on Facebook and using the Facebook targeting options. But this is where most of the beginners they just give up. When they reach here, they launch this ad in the hope of getting some actions taken on their website, namely purchasing a product or getting some leads. But the problem is they are frustrated because they usually get very bad results on this first try. So what they get is little to no conversions at all. They also have very high costs per click. They're literally having trouble even sending people to their website. They have high costs per acquisition or cost per purchase, if any, if they have made any sales. Very low click-through rates. And basically they think they have lost money and there was no profit in Facebook ads. So they start thinking maybe Facebook ads are not for me, or Facebook ads are not working anymore. Well, in reality, everyone starts at that phase, right? So even advanced marketers, people who know what they're doing, they always start with 0. So they start with no data, no audience, nothing. And they start putting money in ads. So this is the profitability curve. It means the higher you are, the more profitable you are. And this is the time axis right here. There are two things why, two major things why you are not profitable from day one. Number one, this audience that you are targeting in the very beginning is a cold audience. This means it's people who don't know you yet. They never seen you. So they don't necessarily trust you or trust your brand or trust that your product is going to be good quality, etc. So that's number one. Number two is that you don't have any data yet. So you need to collect some data. Facebook needs you to collect data in order so that they understand what people engage and who are the people who are most likely to buy your product. And that's where things get more interesting, and you start getting profit with your ads. So number one, the audience is cold. Number two, you don't have data yet. So you have to spend some money to collect some data and in order to start seeing some good results later. All right, so this brings us to the advertising funnel, because you can't be always advertising to a cold audience. You need to push that audience through a funnel and warm it up and turn it into a hot audience and then turn them into a customers. So let's talk about the advertising funnel, all right? So this is the advertising funnel. And on top here is where your cold audience is. So your funnel is basically broken down into two parts. There is the part that's on Facebook. So up here, these two layers are on Facebook and Instagram, and there is the part that's on your website, and that is those two parts at the bottom here. And in the first layer, that is the coldest audience that you can have. And basically what you do here is you target people by interests, And you can also go for lookalike audiences of people who have engaged, or lookalike audiences of your customers. So we get into lookalike audiences later when we talk about scaling. Interests is where you get started, and you try to target people based on their interests. You want to try different interests here until you get some good engagement. What you get from this first layer here is not really the goal here is not really to get sales directly, but to get some engagement, some kind of engagement from people that you can then push down to through the funnel. When people start engaging with your ad, they like your page, they like your Instagram profile. That's where you create a custom audience of those people. And then you, those people are then in your warm audience, right? So warm audience is a retargeting of people who viewed your of people who viewed your videos, as well as people who engaged with your page, with your ad, commented, liked, and shared. So that audience is now a warm audience, and we put it in a custom audience in order to target them with different wording. The more you go down through the funnel, the different your creatives are going to become. And we're going to cover this in the next slides. Then after they become warm, they go to your website, and that's where you collect people who went to your website but did not purchase, and you put them in a custom audience, and that is a hot audience. All right. Next is the customers audience. These are the people who converted, who are already your customers. So you can retarget them using the pixel purchase event, or you can retarget them using a custom audience of people who have already purchased from your website. Some of you don't want don't have a website maybe, so they only want to like send traffic to like a post or something, or post engagement, etc. So what you want to do is like you just narrow down your funnel to this top part, because you're never going down here. So you can easily adjust this to your own use case. All right, so let's start with the cold audience and how you can approach them. So these are people who have never seen your offer. They don't know your brand. And these are basically the people who are the hardest to sell to, because what basically happens is that at the top of the funnel, your metrics are not going to look that good, because that audience is again a cold audience. But the further down you go through your funnel, the better your metrics are going to look, because people are getting familiar and they're getting warmer and warmer. So in the ad set level of your cold audience, you want to test different interest variations in order to find out which interest is the best performing for your offer. You also want to test different, sorry, this is a mistake, different age groups, different genders breakdowns. And a general rule of thumb is you always want to keep your audiences large enough, typically above 500,000, to give Facebook enough data to work with, so that it's easier for Facebook to find the people that are most likely to buy from you. All right, so in the ad creative, you want to grab the attention of these people. So what that means is because they are not familiar with you yet, while they're scrolling their feed, you have to have a creative that attracts the attention. A typical way of doing this is through the first few seconds of your video. So what you do is you take the best part of your video, you cut it, and you copy it to the very beginning of your video. And what happens while they're scrolling the feed, they get attracted because they see something that's intriguing on your creative, and they go, they hit the play, and they watch through your video. And that's a typical way of attracting attention. Another thing you want to do, and this is for if you are selling a high ticket offer, you want to give them free value, right? So if you're selling something above $500 to $1,000 and above, it's your funnel is gonna have to be much more evolved than if you are selling an e-commerce product for like $30. So you want to give free value to the cold audience in order to see to build trust and to warm that audience the right way. All right, so that's the cold audience. Now, the warm audience are the people who engaged when they were cold. They engaged with your ad, they liked your page, they followed you on Instagram, they shared the post, whatever they do. They watched the video. So what you want to do is at the ad set level, you want to have video viewers, page likes, Instagram followers, and page engagement. You want to create audiences for those, and you want to retarget them. And a very important thing to note here is that with the iOS 14 update, this level here of retargeting is going to be more powerful than the website traffic retargeting, because with the restrictions that Apple has put on iOS devices, it's going to be harder for Facebook to keep track of people who visited your website. So because this data is directly coming from Facebook, there is no way for Apple to say, hey, you cannot track this data, because this data already belongs to Facebook, right? It's not, it doesn't happen on the browser outside of Facebook. It happens right inside of Facebook. So that's one tip to overcome the limitations of iOS 14 is to retarget video viewers, page likes, page engagement, and so on. So any event that happens within Facebook and not outside of it. All right. So for the ad creatives, you want to showcase the benefits of your offer. You want to share some of the customer testimonials if you have some, and you want to try and clear any objections that your prospects may have. Once you retarget them here, at some point they will visit your website, and that's where they become a hot lead or a hot audience. So at the hot audience level, at the ad set, what you want to do is you want to retarget the website traffic, anything that happens on your website. Typically, if you can, you want to retarget all the website traffic. Again, for iOS 14, with the iOS 14 update, your website traffic custom audiences are going to get narrower and narrower. So you don't want to restrict your audience a lot. So unless you have a big store and you are retargeting for one product, it's better to just keep all website traffic open. But if you have a big store and you have a retargeting ad for one product, what you want to do is do a custom audience of view content for that specific product, or a custom audience of add to cart for that specific product. All right, so next is the ad creative of this level here. And what we want to do is, customer testimonials again. We want to add some fear of missing out. So typically it's going to be a limited time offer that's going to add some scarcity to your creatives to push people to take action right away. And the last part of the funnel is the existing customers. Now, for existing customers at the ad set level, we recommend that you use customers from your orders, and this is very simple to set up with Scalify, as opposed to using customers from your website traffic, which you can do. But again, because of the iOS 14 restrictions, the customers from your website traffic custom audience will be pretty narrow. So you want to reuse data directly from your store, from your orders, and that's how you get a larger audience for your customers. So we call this retention in Scalify, and it's basically retaining customers that you already have. And what's great about this is that you can make your customers repeat buyers by giving them new offers. So you just create new offers and target your existing customers, and it's basically like printing money because these people already know you and hopefully they are already satisfied with your product and interested in what you have in other offers that you have. And because we are at the very bottom of the funnel, as I said earlier, your metrics are going to look much more appealing than on top of the funnel. And by reselling to your customers, you increase their lifetime value, which means that you can spend more on ads because your lifetime value per customer is higher than say your competitor. All right. So if you are familiar with setting up these audiences on Facebook, you already know how it looks like. You go to the audiences in your business and you create your audiences. Then you go to the audiences tab, to the audiences section in your ad sets, and you set those up. So if you're familiar with this setup, it's good because it will be easy for you to see the benefit of using Scalify. But if you're not familiar with this setup, then what I suggest is I highly suggest actually to go through some tutorials on on YouTube. There are many good tutorials on YouTube on how to set this up. But for the sake of time, we're not going to go through all the setup inside of the native Facebook UI here. We are directly going to jump into Scalify to see how we can set this up. So why Scalify? Why use Scalify and not the native Facebook tools? So Scalify was built to solve three main issues people have with ads. The first one is for beginners, it can be very complicated to set up ads on Facebook. It can easily get very intimidating. So we made this the process of ad creation a lot easier through Scalify. And you're going to see that when we go to the demo. The second problem is it takes too much time to manage your ads. So it takes a lot of time to keep track of your metrics, adjust your budgets, turn off the ads that are consuming budget but are not performing well, decrease the budgets, etc. So that's literally a work that easily takes several hours of your day, and that can easily be automated with Scalify. And the third issue is the poor and inconsistent results. So Scalify, because Scalify is makes ad creation easy, it is very easy for you to set up a good strategy using Scalify than using the native Facebook UI. And which in turn helps you get consistent results, and combined with automation, your results are going to look much more consistent throughout the time. So let's see how Scalify works. So there is your Facebook ads account, your business account, and Instagram, and there is your website. And Scalify falls between the two. So it plugs into your Facebook ad account through the Facebook API, and it plugs into your website through the API of your store or through your website through a manual integration. And this integration with both Facebook ads and your website makes the two entities work perfectly together. So it makes your website and Facebook ads communicate seamlessly together. And this allows for a faster advertising workflow, a smart ad automation and scaling, as well as accurate performance tracking and product catalog syncing. So whenever you change, update, or add or remove a product from your store, for example, your catalog on Facebook gets updated accordingly. So what are the Scalify features, right? Scalify has 4 main modules. The first module is Launch. Launch allows you to launch different types of campaigns. You can launch interest targeting campaigns, retargeting campaigns, dynamic retargeting campaigns as well, scaling campaigns, retention campaigns. So that's the Launch module. Then there is the Analyze module, and the Analyze module helps you see your data across different sources. So it aggregates data from different sources, namely your Facebook ad account, Instagram, your store like Shopify or BigCommerce, and Google Analytics. And it shows them in a beautiful dashboard that you can come back to whenever you want to see what's happening with your metrics. Automate is the Scalify automation that takes care of adjusting your budget, protecting your budget from being wasted, increasing your budget and scaling your ads according to their performance, as well as awaken good ads that have shown good results while they were paused. And it does that at a frequency as low as 15 minutes, and it comes with what we call an automation builder that allows you to be free to do whatever you want with automation. You are free to set up your own automation rules using the builder, and we're going to see that in a bit. And then there is the scale module, and the scale module is basically a way for you to create lookalike audiences and launching ads for them, so that you can push new people who are interested in your offer through your advertising funnel, and that's how you scale your ads. So let's talk a little bit about launch before we go and do a quick demo. So for the launch module, you can launch split-tested campaigns. For example, you can launch different interests and put each interest in a different ad set, and you can literally do that with a few clicks. You can launch retargeting ad campaigns for people who took some action on your ad or on your website, but did not complete the desired action that you want them to complete, like purchasing your product or signing up. So you can easily retarget people inside of Facebook and Instagram. It also comes with a good list of audience templates that you can use, that we use internally for our own ads, and that you can use with a simple click. So you just click a template and it loads in the audience builder. And the audience builder allows you more flexibility when it comes to the audience rules. And it has, because Scalify integrates with your store, you can see your products here and build your custom audiences on Facebook using product criteria from your store. The creative builder allows you to create different creatives and test different creatives to see which one performs best and which one is more appealing to your audience, which one brings better click-through rates, basically. As well as many other things like preserving your social proof by reusing existing ads instead of creating new ones. The custom conversion option that allows you to create custom conversions for your products on your store. You have the ability to change the campaign structure setup that you choose the campaign structure that you want. For example, if you want each ad set to have only one ad inside of it, or you want to put all ad variations inside of each ad set for more for more control over your budget and how it's spent, you can do that. And as well as UTM tagging for Google Analytics. Right, so let's go ahead and do a quick demo of the launch module, and then we'll carry on. You guys still with me?
Yes.
Yes. So I'm gonna have to stop sharing and change to Google Chrome.
All right. And in the meantime, we are having so much of activity in the chat. Ryan says, any plan for Equid integration? Yes, it's in the roadmap. You guys, one of you guys have added it. We're going to share the roadmap to you as well. So yes.
Minang, I think we should take up the questions later on so that we can take up all of them. I think let's continue with the product demo right now, because a lot of these questions might get solved automatically once people are able to see and learn more about the product. Meanwhile, guys, keep dropping your questions. I'm already responding to all of you. And at the same time, I'm writing all the questions down, and we will be covering all of these questions as soon as we complete the product demo. And then we will start talking more about the sessions and upcoming sessions as well, and how we can start strategizing and helping you as a community to start getting started with Facebook ads so that you guys can get started. And at the same time, we'll also build a dedicated community section for all of you guys, so that if you have any sort of Facebook ad related questions, we will be available for all of you guys 24/7 inside the community, and will personally help all of you out. Yasir, over to you.
All right. So let me share my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can see your screen.
Perfect. So this is a demo account that I have, and this is the overview page where there are some tutorials, some suggestions of things to do. And on the sidebar, we can see that we have the 4 modules that we talked about. We have the launch, analyze, automate, and scale. Retargeting is just a shortcut. It's basically inside of launch, but we put a shortcut here because it's used a lot by our users. So let's directly jump into launch. And here we have the launch module where we can launch different campaigns. So for example, we have targeting here, and this is the very top of the funnel. This is where we target new interests. We test different audiences, and we approach cold audiences in order to push them in through our funnel. Retargeting is allows us to retarget people, obviously, and there are 2 types of retargeting campaigns. Let's go inside retargeting to show you. So there's the classic retargeting campaign, and this is best if you have a single offer. So this is if you have an ad creative that you want to use for retargeting a specific product. So this is the way to go. It gives you a lot of control over your retargeting campaign. And dynamic retargeting is best if you have multiple products. So it basically uses the catalog from your store, and it keeps your ads up to date with whatever products you have on your store. And Facebook will generate a different ad creative for each person depending on the product that they have shown interest in. There's also a retention section here, and a custom audience section if you just want to create a custom audience. So retention is for retaining existing customers. So that's very bottom of the funnel. Let's get back to retention. So this is the same retention, and then there is scaling. So for this demo, let's go inside targeting. And this is the UI for campaign creation. So the first tab here is, let me zoom in a bit for you. The first tab here is the offer. It's totally optional, but it helps you improve your advertising workflow, because if you use an offer here, whatever you create, whatever audiences you create, whatever ad creatives you create in the process will be linked to this offer, so you can later reuse them easily without, for example, losing the engagement that you have on your ads. So let's choose an offer. I can totally skip this option, by the way, if you don't have any offers set up. But let's go ahead and click, for example, this product here, and click next. And in here, we choose if we want to use an existing campaign, or if we want to create a new campaign. Let's create a new campaign and call it targeting demo. Select your desired objective here. Most of the time it's going to be conversions, because you want people to purchase, but you can also go in for engagement or for traffic if you are looking to just get some traffic. Reach, if you want to reach all the people in your audience as much as possible, brand awareness, reviews, etc. So let's keep campaign budget optimization off and click next. So you can see now that I am at the ad set level. I can create up to 200 ad sets at the same time at one batch, and I can save my settings in a template. If there are some settings that I always use, I can just reload the template here. So here is where we choose the Facebook pixel, the event that we want to optimize for. For example, I want people to purchase, so I just click the purchase event. That's what I want to optimize for. And if I click next, I go down to the interests tab. Now, this is where we add different variations of ad sets. So right now, I only have one ad set up here. Only have one ad set for right now. So what we want to do is test different interest variations. So let's click add interest variation. And this is where we can add an interest or exclude some interests. So let's, for example, go for sunglasses. So sorry, sunglasses. And this is my first variation. So I can, in order to create a second asset with a different interest, I just click in add variation. And I'm already given some interests here. Let's go for eyewear, for example. And I will add in another variation. And this one will be Ray-Ban. And you can see that I have 3 variations for the interests. And at the top here, I have 3 different ad sets, which is really cool because if you were to do this on Facebook, you would have to duplicate, create the first ad set, then duplicate it, then create the second ad set, and so on. And it gets more complicated if you want to also test the gender, for example, or the age groups. So let's go to the location. Say, for example, we want United States. And age and gender. Okay, so in the age and gender, say we want to test people in their 20s against people in their 30s and see which one, which age group performs better. So 20 to 30, so that's going to be until I believe 39, with a split of 9 years. All right, so generate. So I have variation 1 is 20 to 29. And variation 2 is 30 to 39. And because I have 3 different variations in the interests and 2 different variations in the age and gender, I have a total of 6 ad sets right now. I hope that makes sense. So I can also, if I want, I can split the age and the gender. Sorry, the gender. And I have now male and female are separated, which makes up for 4 age and gender groups and 12 ad sets. But I'll just keep this one as all. No need to separate those. All right. So in the placement, you can try automatic placement, or you can also try a second variation and go for the placement that you want. This will depend on your offer. For example, if you are selling some phone case, for example, you want to pick the devices that are compatible with your phone case. So this will be totally up to you. And then there is the optimization. And for the optimization, the default settings are fine unless you want to work on your bid strategy and modify some settings here. You can do this here. So next is the ad creative, basically the ad level. Okay. So in here we can create new creatives using the creative builder, and by going through these steps right here, this will create a new creatives for us. We can also choose creatives from the selected offer. So offers creative. These are some ads that were previously launched for this offer. I can just pick them up. Because they were launched on Scalify, they were linked to this offer, so I don't need to look for them again. They just click offers creative and you got them there. You can also choose creatives from your page or from your past campaigns. So just go to an old campaign and pick some ads that are that you have already ran traffic to. And this again helps you preserve social proof. It means that it will not create the ad again. It will reuse this existing ad, and you will have the same social proof that you have on your previous ads in the new ad that you created. You can also choose to enter a post ID or a URL here. All right. So again, in the native Facebook tools, you can only choose to enter a post ID, I believe. But you have so many options here, including alt campaigns, which is very handy. I use that all the time. Okay, so here you can choose the Instagram account that you want to use, and that's pretty much it. You can also preview the ad here in different platforms and review your work, and then you can also calculate the potential reach here to see how much reach each audience has. As we said before, it's always a good idea to keep the audiences large enough. So I went for large audiences only on this example. I only targeted very broad interest keywords. And then we go to launch, and you see here that we have 3 creatives. So in here we can choose the structure that we have. So do you want the 3 creatives to be under each ad set, or do you want each creative to have its own ad set? Some advertisers like this setup because it gives them more control, because all of the ad sets budget is going to be spent on each creative, which helps with testing creatives. As what we have noticed is that when you put all the ads inside of each ad set, what Facebook does sometimes is just ignore one of the ads and send all the traffic to the other ad, which doesn't give enough chance for the first ad to stand out. So that's up to you. You can do that here, but it's the recommended here is coming directly from Facebook. They recommend to put all the ads from all the ads under each ad set. Okay. Ad set naming, because we have interests, we're going to add interests here. So that we can see the interests in the ad set naming. We can, if we are split testing locations, we can also add locations, but we are not. So let's just remove that. I can also add the age range, because that's what we have split tested. And the campaign will automatically have UTM tagging added, and I can choose to enable or disable the campaigns after they were created, and just click launch to launch this this targeting campaign. Another thing to go through here is the retargeting. So let's go to the classic retargeting, and the setup is very similar, but this time I will go directly to the ad sets in order to show you the retargeting audiences. So when you want to launch retargeting here, you have different audience templates. For example, if you want to target website visitors, you can click website visitors and choose one of the templates. For example, people who added a product to cart. You can also choose from video watchers, different templates for videos. You can choose page engagement, Instagram, or retarget existing custom audiences. So let's go with, for example, this one, visitors who added a product to cart. And when I click that, I get the audience builder here. So here is where I choose my pixel, and then added a product to cart. I choose the product that I want to collect data from. So all the people who added this specific product to cart, I can also add many other products. And this drop down right here is very handy, because if you do this on Facebook, again, you're going to have to copy the product ID from your e-commerce platform or your website and come back to Facebook and open the rule for your custom audience and look for the content ID to paste the product ID inside there. So it kind of gets messy and a very tedious work to do. Here you just pick the product that you want, and you're done, pretty much done. So people who and did not. So people who added a product to cart and did not visit the website and make any purchase. Let's do did not purchase any product. So this is a good setup for retargeting, and this will retarget people in the last 30 days who visited my website, added this product to cart, and did not purchase. And I can also add different other variations of retargeting here, but you get the idea. Now, let's go back to retargeting and talk a little bit about dynamic retargeting. Let's launch dynamic retargeting. And dynamic retargeting uses a product catalog, and Facebook will generate a different creative for each visitor, depending on the product that they have shown interest in. For example, if I went inside your store and I visited a product, when I go back to Facebook, Facebook will automatically show me that specific product. And this is very good if you have multiple products on your store, because it's virtually impossible to create a different ad for each product on your store. So we can choose a catalog here or create a new one. And next, let's give it a demo dynamic product ads retargeting. here we choose the Facebook page that we want to use and the Instagram profile that we want to use. And we can change the placements. We can put like select the placements manually or choose automatic placements. So this is what the ad will look like in Facebook. The first product here will be the product that I have visited on your store. So that's very, very powerful, and we see this being used a lot by our users. We can put our budget here and update the text and just click launch dynamic retargeting, and that's pretty much it. We can also add dynamic tags here. For example, if you want to say, have you forgotten about your, and you can put the product name here, and this will be automatically changed by the product name inside of Facebook. All right, so you set the country here, and then you launch your retargeting, dynamic retargeting campaign. So very quickly, one last thing we want to see inside of launch is retention. So launch ads. So retention is basically retaining the customers that you already have. Would go directly to the ad set level and to the retention audiences. Now, depending on your platform, you may see one or two options here. If you are on a supported platform like Shopify, you will have this option to use audiences from your orders. And this is very much recommended, as we covered earlier, because of the iOS 14 update. The website traffic audiences tend to shrink a little bit. So it's better to always go to with your full data from your orders of your store. So we're going to go to after people who bought a product. For example, people who bought this product, and this is just because I didn't choose the offer in retention. When I came here, I didn't choose the offer, but basically, generally here, the product is already selected for you because you already selected an offer. And but did not buy, and let's say I'm promoting Alana for these customers. So customers who bought this, I think they might be also interested in this, so I can easily run a retention campaign promoting the Alana product. All right. So this will go after people who bought Bobby but did not buy Alana. All right, and the rest is very similar to the targeting option campaign we saw earlier. And down here we have a little creation section, and this section is here for you if you just want to create a custom audience, lookalike audience, a custom conversion, or a product catalog without necessarily creating a campaign for them. All right, so we get back to PowerPoint, and that was just one module of Scalify. So let me share my PowerPoint presentation again. All right. You with me, guys?
Absolutely.
Okay, so let's see.
Yeah, I think
Comments are amazing here. People are already in love with this app. Doubts are getting cleared. Awesome.
Yeah, I think my typing speed has increased so much. I'm probably typing at like 150 words per minute right now. There are so many questions coming in.
All right,
and
so
I'm just replying to all of you guys who are tagging us on Instagram, showing us a lot of love here on Instagram. Interesting.
You guys are awesome. I think we should first of all like thank everyone who has attended so far and has been dropping questions. You guys are ready to learn. You guys are ready to grow your business, and I think that dedication itself separates you from the masses, basically.
Awesome. Awesome.
Amazing. So we're going to try to answer as many questions as we have right after this presentation. I'm going to try to make this quick because it's, I think it's getting a bit long, so I don't want to get our audience bored. All right. So after launch, there is analyze. All right. So analyze is where you get an idea of how your metrics are performing on your ads. And this is where you get a nice dashboard of your audience, of our of your metrics. And the metrics here are aggregated from different places. So from Facebook, from Google Analytics, from your Shopify store, Instagram, WooCommerce, and you get to see all of the information nicely presented to you, and with an addition of your net profit, an estimated net profit, and an estimated cost of goods sold that you have. The dashboard has different templates that you can choose from, and you can also create your own templates, save them, and reuse them again. There is also a matrix comparison widget that you can use to compare different metrics in one place. And you can also get an idea of how your ads are performing, and trace back conversions to the campaigns. So this is something that's not possible on Facebook, but we do it with the help of Google Analytics. And we calculate the net profit for you and the cost of goods sold for you, as well as tell you what product this campaign has sold, etc. So we also have analytics data for each order that you can check out, and goal tracking for your landing pages. This one is very important, and it calculates towards your net profit and your cost of goods sold as well. So a little demo of Analyze. Let's go back to Google Chrome, and we'll jump to Analyze. So this is a demo campaign. So sorry, demo account. So don't worry if you see some, for example, here there's a missing ad spend because we changed the ad account. But this is what your dashboard looks like, all right? And these widgets allow you to, there are different types of widgets. These small widgets allow you to see the data that you want that's more important to you. So you just click change metric and you choose the data source that you want. For example, Google Analytics sessions, for example, and that's how it works. You can also change the templates from this drop-down up here. And in here, you can see there is a little widget that we call the Ads Manager. And this is just similar to Facebook. You have the campaigns, ad sets, and ads. And inside of each campaign, you have the ad sets. Inside of each ad set, you have the ad. But what's new here is the revenue column, the profit, and the cost of goods sold. Because we trace, we attribute each conversion to its specific campaign, we're able to calculate your revenue, your profit, and your cost of goods sold. So if I click detail here, I get a information on what product was sold through this campaign, how many conversions, how much I will pay my supplier, how many visits, etc. Going down here, we also have these lists. These lists. This will depend on the really on the data source. If it's a list, it will show up like this. All right. We also have this this overview of your map, of your world map, where your visits are coming and where the data source is coming. This one is from Google Analytics. The orders are from Shopify and so on. And this is the metrics comparison widget that we talked about earlier. And you can choose the metrics that you want to compare here. All right, so let's go and go back to the presentation. So after here, we're going to talk about automate. Now, automation is very interesting because it automates the ad optimization for you. So it tweaks your ads depending on a strategy that you use. For example, you can protect your budget from being lost on ads that are not well performing. You can steadily scale your ads depending on their performance, and you can also awaken good ads that have shown good performance while they were paused. So the automation comes with a powerful automation builder that you are free to use however you want. And you can set up rules to automate your ad optimization here. scaling based on the performance. So you can steadily scale your ads based on their performance. And this is great because the strategies that we provide you with will never reset the ad sets to their learning phase, because we only adjust the budget with around 20%, I believe. Because there is no drastic change to your ad set, performance is not lost, because the ad set will never go into the learning phase again. But you can still scale while maintaining profitability and performance. Protect your budget by turning off bad ads that are wasting your money, basically. And turn on good ads that have shown good potential. So for example, here you can see that last month this ad was paused, but later we have seen some conversions that were attributed to this ad while it was paused, which means that this ad now has a good return on ad spend, but it is paused. So Scalify will come and turn this ad on for you. And all of this is accessible with just one click of a button, because we have prepared all the ad strategies, the automation strategies for you, and I will show you that in a bit. The frequency by which the strategies or the conditions are checked, it can go as low as 15 minutes. And anything that's taken, any action that's taken on your ads is logged in the logs, so you can check it in the logs, and it's instantly a notification is instantly sent to you, to your email, and to your Slack channel. So let's go ahead and do a quick demo of automation. Google Chrome. Okay, so we'll jump to automation here. And we'll click create new automation. So we have two choices. Either we choose from the strategies library, or we create a new automation from scratch. For this demo, we'll choose from the library. And here, this is a large library of automation strategies that we have prepared for you. And it's as easy as your strategy. If you want, using one of these strategies is as easy as one click, literally. So we have different types of strategies. We have scaling strategies that will scale your ads depending on their performance and depending on your goal. Some of them are customer acquisition cost based, and the other ones are return on ad spend based. So it depends on your type of business. Safety will protect your budget, so pause losing campaigns, etc. Awaken will restart ads that have shown late conversions. We have filters here that you can use. If you are doing lead generation, then you want to check lead generation here to see the lead generation strategies. And the quick start is a combination of the three types of strategies, and it's a good way to start quickly with automation. So for example, let's say we have an e-commerce store and we want to start to set an automation for our campaigns. So let's come here and click preview to see what this automation will do. Now here we have a description of this automation and what it's going to do, and the different actions and conditions that this automation is going to perform for you. Let's click use strategy. So the average order value. So this here, I need to input some numbers for my own use case in order for this strategy to work perfectly for my own use case. AOV, or average order value, is how much I'm making on average from each order. For example, let's say I'm making $25 from each order. And the average cost of goods sold, meaning how much I pay for my customer, is say $10. So the maximum cost per purchase that I can afford is $15. So meaning if I pay Facebook $15 for each sale I make, I'll be breaking even. So my objective is to get purchases for less than $15. All right. And this is the maximum daily budget. So Scalify will keep scaling my ads, increasing my budgets rather, until it reaches $1,000 per day. And of course, it will only increase the budget if the ad is still profitable. So we click load strategy. And we are here in this interface where we can move forward with this setup. So this is where we can add some description and name. We can organize our work by creating folders for each automation, and we can select a target for this automation. For example, do we want it to be to target all the campaigns or all the ad sets? Do you want them to be automatically selected or manually select several ad sets alone or only? When you load a strategy, all of this is automatically done for you. So you just click next, unless you want to change something. Next, this is the action and conditions. So action 1, action 2, and action 3. So action 1 is it will increase the budget by 20%. And whenever this condition is met, the second one is it will pause the campaign if this condition is met. This condition basically means that the ad that we have given enough chance for the campaign or the ad set to bring some results, but it did not, so it's time to kill it. And it will start campaigns for late conversions, as we said. Next. We want the frequency to be 15 minutes, or you can choose whatever you want. We want it to run all the time, or we can schedule it to run at a certain time. And we can enable the email notifications whenever an action is taken on this automation. Or we can also link our Slack channel to have notifications directly come to our Slack channel and keep an eye on what's happening on our ad account. Next, we review whatever we did here. This is just a review, a summary of everything that we have set up, and then we click create automation. All right, so that's automation. Let's go back, and we have one module left, and that is scaling. So let me share my screen. All right, so after automation, there is scaling. And scaling is basically, in addition to scaling through automation strategies, we can also scale by finding audiences who are similar to our best customers and prospects. And Scalify allows you to do this very easily and provides you with options that allow you to scale very aggressively without spending too much time, like in just a few clicks. So book lookalike audience creation. We also have a lifetime-based lookalike audience, so you can raise the lifetime, the average lifetime value of customers you want to include in the lookalike audience. For example, if you only want people who have spent, if you only want people who are similar to people who have spent more than $30 on your site or on your store, then you can do that. And those generally outperform other people other lookalike audiences if you include everyone. So it's a good way to filter and only like keep the best people in your lookalike audience. So we also have lookalike audiences from your website traffic, video views, engagement of your Facebook page and Instagram profile. And let's jump to the demo. So let me stop this and go here. And in Scale, we have two different options. We have simple scaling campaign and a book scaling campaign, all right? So the difference between these two is that simple scaling campaign will give you the same interface as the other options in the launch that we went through earlier. And that gives you a lot of control over your testing. If you want to split test different age groups, different genders, different locations, etc. While bulk scaling is a way for you to go very aggressive with your scaling. And basically what you do here is just tick some boxes and click scale. So it will create custom audiences for you, create the lookalike audiences for you, create the ad sets, the campaigns, the ads, everything for you automatically. So I'll leave this one here for a second, and let's just go through bulk scaling. So launch. So here we have different audience sources, and say we want to only create lookalike audiences of people who purchased and who added a product to cart. Here I can choose the product that I want to use, or I can leave it empty to use all the pixel data. So anyone who has purchased any product, or anyone who has added a product to cart will be added in this lookalike audience. I can here click, for example, say friends, and I can choose how many lookalike audiences I want. I can go all the way up to 20, as opposed to Facebook, where you can only stop at 10, but using the Facebook API, we can go all the way up to 20. And we can add a prefix if we want. We can also go to video views and select some videos for to collect people who have viewed those videos, and we'll find people who are similar to people who viewed 50% of this video, for example. And it's the United States. And there we go. So the same setup pretty much. So here we have 20 lookalike audiences. Here we have 12, and we can continue on. All right. So next we have the option to create a campaign and ad sets and ads for this for these lookalike audiences. This is totally optional, but if you are creating lookalike audiences, chances are you also want to launch ads for them. So that's what you can do here. So conversion. We're gonna optimize for conversion, choose your pixel, choose the event that you want to optimize for, etc. So you go through these options, and then at the end you review your work, and this will create all these lookalike audiences and ad sets for you. And you click launch, and then you're done. And you can see how aggressive this is, how many ad sets we have here. As opposed to simple scaling campaign, the difference is that in the simple scaling campaign, when you go to the ad sets, scaling audiences, you can choose your customers here. And here, for example, you can choose customers from your orders, and you only want to collect customers who have at least $20, for example, in the lifetime value. And you have the very similar settings, but in here it's a similar setup that to the setup that we have seen earlier, where you can add a new variation and add different lookalike audiences. All right, so we're almost done. A few slides away. Let's go to the case study. So one of our users was kind enough to let us inside his account and to share some of the work he's been doing on Scalify. And as you can see here, he has spent around $50,000, and in return he got $180,000, which is really good. A really good return on ad spend. So I went ahead and recorded a video from his account for privacy's sake, because he did not want to share his Shopify store. So what I did is I recorded a video of his account, and I blurred out the areas where it mentioned his Shopify store. So let me pull that video right here. All right, share. All right, so this is his account, and we can see that he's got some pretty good metrics going on here. And we will jump directly to his history tab to see how he's been using Scalify lately. And right, so the history tab, you can see that he's been 5 days ago, 9 days ago, 14 days ago. He's been extensively using Scalify during the past several months. So you can see here that he has some interest related to tasks that he's been testing different interests. He has a dynamic retargeting campaign here, some interests here again. You can see that he has some lookalike audiences, so some scaling, some retargeting. So we will jump into one of these So this is the phishing campaign. This is an interest targeting campaign. So we have 3 creatives and 3 different ad sets. So we'll create a similar task to see what this looks like. We'll jump directly to his ad sets and then click interests. And you can see that he has 3 interest variations, and he's stacking small interests together to pile up large audiences. As we covered earlier, it's always good to have a decent audience size when targeting on Facebook. This way you give Facebook enough data to work with, and it's easier for Facebook to find people who are likely to purchase your product inside of that audience. All right, so yeah, large audiences here. Let's go back and see something else he's been doing. This time, I believe we will take a lookalike audience. Yeah, so lookalike audiences. So again, 3 creatives and a large amount of audiences have been created here, and create a similar task to see what this looks like. So under ads, so you can see that this is a simple scaling setup where he goes inside the scaling audience, scaling audiences under the ad sets, and you can see that he created four lookalike audiences here with a filter of $10 as lifetime value. So minimum customer lifetime value is $10, and in the United States he has 4 audiences, and he creates a separate ad set for each audience. And that's very important because he wants to test different each audience on its own to keep the data separated. All right, so that's pretty much it. And you can see.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The whole
Perfect.
chat section is just blowing up, and
wow. It's been crazy. I think I was having like a lot of fun with all the comments. I've been like, I think I've pretty much responded to all of you guys. But I hope how has been the webinar, guys, so far? Drop in an emoji to let us know and express your emotions with your favorite emoji.
And the stories just keep coming. The stories just keep coming here. It says Yasser on fire. Awesome. That's one more story that we have.
Thank you so much.
Guys, if you want more of such kick-ass webinars, please make sure that you go on Instagram and tag us, right? We'll come back and we'll keep delivering such value because we want you guys to grow in the end. That's what this community and this webinar is all about. So guys, again, start asking your questions because I think it's high time we take up all the questions. Yasir, I think we'll probably have over like 200 plus questions. Are you ready? And I think, and I think by the time we end, there's going to be another 200 questions. So
sure thing. Questions? Yeah, let's try to go through the ones that are most repeated first.
Okay, so then, I'm going to start taking up these questions. So there's so starting with Kamran, his first question is: can Scalify find people or audience or target from Facebook, which they gave orders mostly from Facebook ads?
I'm sorry, I did not understand. Can Scalify get audiences from Facebook?
So basically what he's asking is, let's say if I come in through Facebook ad and make a purchase, can Scalify identify me that I have come from Facebook and I've made a purchase through Facebook?
Yes. So Facebook already identifies you through the Facebook pixel, and Scalify adds a layer on top of that using Google Analytics. If you launch the campaign through Scalify, you will have UTM tagging on your Facebook campaign or Facebook ads, and that way also there's also Google Analytics that's going to trace back and to attribute that conversion to that UTM tag, and Scalify picks that up and show it to you in the dashboard.
Awesome. Moving on to the next question. It's from Hugo. Can you have an overview of different audiences and segment them?
An overview of different audiences.
And can you segment them? So there are 2 questions. The first question is, can you overview different audiences? And then the second follow-up question is, can you segment them?
Yeah, so inside of Scalify, you don't have a list of your existing audiences because that's already available on Facebook. But segmenting, when you add segmenting to that, it makes more sense because the Facebook list of audiences is quite messy. So I would definitely understand that. I'm gonna note that because adding segmentation to the audiences is a pretty cool feature, I think.
Brilliant. I hope Hugo, that answers your question. The next question is from Jennifer. She's asking, do you have a way to exclude audiences in each funnel as well? For example, exclude purchases in cold audience ads.
That's a very good question. When you create, I think I need to see the interface in front of me, but I think she's right. Just one moment. So yeah, so yeah, okay, got it, noted. She's right. She should be able to have an option to exclude other custom audiences because she doesn't want to mix different funnel levels. So she's definitely right, and I'm noting that.
Perfect. Moving on to the next question. It's from Manish. What are your plans for Google, LinkedIn, and Twitter ads?
So on the roadmap, we already have Google, and we're going to start with Google for e-commerce, so shopping ads. And we've already we are already working on a first product that is going to allow you to have control over your Google ad feeds, Google merchant feeds, and with different filters, different options. And that's our first step towards Google Ads. But we're going to keep building towards that bit by bit.
Perfect. I think this is just a follow-up question that I see from Kamran. Kamran, there is no way to find out which audiences and their purchase data because there is no such data available by Facebook via their API. But what you can start doing is once you identify your ideal audiences, once you start connecting them with Scalify, you will start getting that data that which one is performing well for you. And from that point of stage, you will be able to start scaling up. But just to keep the answer short, Facebook API doesn't provide this specific data. There is also a follow-up question from Aruna. So there are no plans for LinkedIn or Twitter as of now?
As of right now, we're focusing on Google Ads because that's where the market is going in e-commerce. It's becoming increasingly popular with e-commerce stores. But our goal is generally to make advertising easier, like on all platforms. Like we hope to reach that goal, but just to stay very clear, right now our focus is on Google, but definitely interested in implementing solutions for all advertising platforms in an omni-channel software. And if you purchase the lifetime deal, you have access to all future updates. Whenever we come up with a solution for those platforms, you will be able to access it with your lifetime deal.
Perfect, guys. Again, we have a lot of questions. I'll be covering all. Just give us some time to get to your question. Please allow us a little bit of time, and we'll be covering all of them. And also, guys, if possible, please use a QA section instead of the chat section for the questions. That will just make things a lot more easier for us to go through each of the questions step by step. So please, it's a kind request that please use the QA section for all your questions. We would really appreciate that. So next question is from Rakul. He's asking, show how we can retarget website visitor on the basis of events in Scalify.
Sorry, how can we retarget website visitors using
on the basis of events? On the basis of certain events. So let's say someone's adding the product in the cart, right? So how do we retarget them?
Very simple. Let me show you that right now.
Yeah, I think you should keep your screen open as well so that if there are any questions coming in, we can quickly demo that particular question.
Yeah, for sure. So the way you do that is you go to retarget. And let's go to classic retargeting. And so you go through this interface to launch, start fresh here. You go through this interface to launch a new retargeting campaign, but we'll just go through directly to the audience section under the ad sets, retargeting. And here you have different audience types, and you want to go to website visitors, and then you have different templates. So the event that you want to have may or may not be listed here. So if it's not listed, just pick all or pick add a product to cart. And it's as simple as just choosing the event that you want from here. So purchased, added a payment info, initiated checkout, visited the page, view the product, etc. So I hope that answers your question.
And there is another follow-up question in the QA section from Rakul. He's asking, is there a way to target people who have scrolled, let's say 70% of the web page? Or if they have spent like X amount of time, can we target them specifically?
For scrolling, the Facebook pixel does not support the scrolling event. However, for the time, yes, you can click refine by here and choose time spent. And then you choose only the top 5% of the top 10% of people who spend the most time on your website. So this will narrow the audience to people who spent the longest time on the website.
Perfect. Moving on to the next question is from Edward. Concerning the iOS 14 privacy policy update, compared to Facebook Ads Manager, how Scalify addresses client segmentation based on interest? Will it be possible to have access to that kind of granular data inside Scalify?
Not sure I understand the question. It's related to the interests and iOS 14.
Correct.
But I'm not really sure what Edward, right?
Yeah. Let me just rephrase. So what he's asking is that with all the iOS 14 new updates, how will Scalify help in addressing client segmentation of interest, basically? How will it help in terms of segmenting the data to give a bit more granular data? And if it's possible to do that at all in Facebook?
I'm really not sure what he means by segmentation, but using Scalify or using the Ads Manager, you can test different interests in different ad sets, which I always recommend. But I'm not sure what he means by segmentation.
Edward, if you can just rephrase your question, I think that would be great, and we'll love to follow up on that question with you. Moving on to the next one, it's from Dave. So he's asking, your presentation is beautiful. Which software are you using?
It's just PowerPoint.
Okay, it's PowerPoint, Dave. I will be sending you the presentation within 24 hours. So, okay, move on to the next one. Theo is asking, what is the average time from cold to hot audiences usually?
That will depend on the budget, how much you spend, how much people you have reached. So if you spend $100 a day, it's not the same thing as if you spend $10 a day. So that will play a big role in speed. If you spend more, you collect data more, and you get people through your funnel faster.
Perfect. I'll move on to the next question. It's from Christian. He's asking, what sets this product apart from RevealBot or Magix?
So one of the biggest differences is that Scalify connects not only to your Facebook business, but also to your store. And so Scalify has access to your products, your customers, and it makes as we saw the advertising software easier by giving you a list of your products in front of you that you can just pick from and act upon and create audiences from inside of Facebook. So that's not something you see in other tools where you have to like manually do some heavy lifting in order to make it work with your website. That's one of the things, but we are working on a detailed comparison web page on our website. I'm not sure where Maria is at with this now, but she's almost done with it, and we'll publish it very soon, maybe today or tomorrow.
Brilliant. Moving on to the next question, it's from Sumola. He's asking, how do we make ad funnel with the strategy? I think, Sumala, what we'll be doing is it's impossible to answer that in a couple of lines. We'll have to actually keep a separate webinar for that to actually guide you through making you, first of all, understand what ad strategies you need to implement, how funnels are really built up on ads. And that is not possible to just answer in a couple of lines because we'll have to show you in a visualized way. So we will be conducting a separate webinar in next week itself, and we'll start talking more about those strategies, practical implementations, building up funnels so that you can implement all of those things right away. Moving on to the next one. It's again from him. He's asking, I'm new to FB ads, please guide from scratch. Definitely we'll be conducting another webinar for that, Sumala. Moving on to the next one. It's from Theo. What is the average golden spot for pricing of product on FB and
Insta?
The average pricing you want to have for products you want to advertise on Facebook?
Yeah, I think this is this really depends upon what you're trying to sell, the competitiveness of the product, what sort of other products really exist in the market, what competitions do they have. I think it will purely depend on all of these factors. But what I would recommend probably is that if you really want to have better conversions, and if you have less audience initially, and if you're targeting a lot of cold audience, then either do a freebie ads or do a $1 ad. This way, this is a very common and well-known strategy in the marketing world. So when you do that, you're kind of like also generating leads for yourself. And then once you start building up enough audience, you can use Scalify and create a lookalike audience from it, and then go on a much more rampant pace at that stage. That's what I would recommend. Yessi, do you want to add anything to it?
Yeah, the market plays a good like it's the main area that you want to focus on. See what your competitors have. Like you can sell any kind of product from like a $20 product to a house. The difference is that the process of advertising is different from price to price. If your product is a low ticket, like $20, $30 up to $100 product, then you can just directly advertise and try to make the purchase, retarget and try to make a purchase. But if you are trying to sell, say something that's $10,000 and up, you will want to have a sales team in the process. You want to collect leads, do phone calls to prime those leads and so on. So the advertising process is different from price to price, definitely, but you can have a solution to any kind of pricing model.
Brilliant. I'll move on to the next question. It's from Chaitanya. The basics to getting started with Facebook ads, how you started your journey, watched any YouTube videos, or how you boosted your ads. I'll keep the answer short, Chaitanya. I think I started back about several years ago. I think over a decade. I started with Google Ads initially, and I think Facebook ads probably gotten better by around 2015-16. Before that, Facebook ads were pretty much crap. I think no one was really using Facebook ads, and you just got to get started with any platform. And initially, it's all about like testing. Today, there are so many tools available. There are so many guides available. But back in those days, I think none of those things were available. And we used to spend a lot of money to really check what was going on. But I think we'll be covering a lot of things in terms of how to get started with Facebook ads in the upcoming webinar. Moving on to the next one, it's the question is from Sheen. How can we design a funnel that is reverse engineered to work for FB ads on best practices for your SaaS platform? Can insights from Scalify help to do this? I think Shrin, this again falls under like we actually building up strategies and showing you live. So this itself would take like a whole webinar for us to do it. So once we conduct a more practical webinar next week, we would love to show this in practical analysis in terms of how to really get this going. Gordon asking, by saying it works for FB, Do you mean, does it also work with Instagram?
Yes, definitely. You can see that. Let me show you quickly. Let's go back inside the app here, and you can see that when you go to, for example, launch targeting, when you choose your creatives, let me choose the offer here and go back to ad set, and sorry, the ad creative, offers creatives. So here you can choose the Instagram account that you want to use. When you are setting up your ad sets under placement, you can choose automatic placement, or you can choose Instagram related placements like the Instagram feed and Instagram stories. When you choose Instagram placement, you will see an option under your creatives where you can choose to use the linked Instagram account of the page, or you can choose, if you have a list of other Instagram accounts in your business, you can choose them right here.
Okay,
so yeah, definitely works with Instagram as well.
Perfect. Moving on to the next question is from Terence. How many ad accounts can be added or used in a single quote? You can practically add unlimited accounts you want, Terence, regardless of the plan. But if you want your accounts to be really organized for each of your customers, then we recommend you getting a sub account. Now, there were a lot of questions around sub accounts. So we would love to cover that a bit. So Yassi, if you can just let people know a bit more about what is a sub account and the difference between adding all the accounts under one roof versus segmenting those accounts under sub accounts. I think that will benefit everyone.
Sure, for sure. So we have received many requests from users, namely agencies that work with different clients, and they do not want to mix different ad accounts for different clients under the same roof. So what we did is we implemented a new type of accounts. We call it the agency account, and it basically has an interface where you can create different Scalify accounts, and inside of those Scalify accounts, you can invite your clients to add their own ad accounts, or you can add your own ad account as well. So inside of each Scalify account, you will not be seeing all the ad accounts, but because there is a drop down for the ad accounts. So if you take the agency plan and separate the Scalify accounts, each Scalify account will have access to a different set of ad accounts.
Just to add to that, so let's say if you have purchased a plan with 100,000 ad spending per month, then while creating a sub account, you can allocate how much ad spend you want to go for that specific sub account. So that is completely up to you, and you can delete the sub account if you want and simply add another customer. So let's say if you lose a customer for any XYZ reason, which we don't want you to, but for any reason, then you can simply add another customer. So that sub account basically remains with you for as long as you want. So I hope this answers all the questions around sub accounts and how the spending gets added. So the spending is again from the plan that you purchase. You allocate whatever budget you want. It can be $10,000, $1,000, $15,000 in that specific ad account. It is completely up to you. Can we?
Yeah, I just added a link to our help center where we have just published a new article about sub accounts.
Perfect.
It's in the chat.
A follow-up question coming in over here from many people. Can you quickly show how it looks like?
Oh, let me see if Maria has some
like that your demo account has a sub account right now?
Yeah, because I don't have it right now, but yeah, so definitely check after the webinar, and we will have some screenshots and maybe also a video explaining sub accounts on the same link that I just shared on the chat.
Perfect. So let's move on to the next one. We'll just post a quick video after this. Ashish is asking, is this app being used by PitchGround? Definitely, we have started playing around. We have started testing it, and we'll start posting more things for you guys. Just give us some time. Again, we'll be posting a lot of good case study for you guys. Next question is from Chaitanya. Will Scalify keep track of new changes taking place in Facebook policies. Definitely, I think that's a part of every company that does things, especially that relies on third party. But Yasir, if you want to add a couple of more lines to it, let me know.
Of course, there are change logs to the Facebook API that are released every now and then, and we always make sure we go through every change that's been happening in the platform. Lately, there's been a change with lookalike audiences that do not require a country anymore, but the Facebook API has not been updated yet, so we're definitely keeping an eye on that one. And we're still learning about the new changes because Facebook is still implementing solutions for the iOS 14 update, and we're on top of that as well. So definitely that's something like that's our life's work. That's what we do.
Remember, guys, that more than us as a user, Facebook is more worried about the iOS 14 update because they don't want to lose the money and they don't want to lose the advertisers. So they will do whatever it takes on their end to keep coming up with a better solution. So moving on to the next question, it's from John. John is asking, I've never done Facebook ads, so I see this as a great opportunity to test the waters. It makes me wonder, can I connect Scalify to WordPress website powered by WooCommerce? How about other CMS platform? Is it possible to track performance? I would like to make sure it is not only just for Shopify.
Yes, so initially it was for Shopify back in 2018, but after the request of many people, we opened to different domain e-commerce platforms as well as regular websites. WooCommerce is one of the platforms we fully support through their API, so you can easily connect Scalify to WooCommerce now. And if you have a regular website that's not an e-commerce platform, you can also always add Google Analytics as an integration, and it works pretty well.
Perfect, awesome. I hope John that answers your question. If you have any follow-up question, feel free to add them. We'll love to answer them. Moving on to the next question, it's from Daniel. Can you please send the replay as well? Definitely, Daniel. As soon as we end the webinar. Within next 24 hours, it takes about few hours for the video to get processed. And as soon as the video is processed, it will be available in the same dashboard where you have signed up inside events.pitchground.com. The replay would be available, or you can head to events.pitchground.com/replay and you would see this webinar available. So you can go through it. We'll also send out the presentation to everyone. Moving on to the next question is from Aruna. Does Scalify work only if Facebook Pixel is properly set up? Definitely, Aruna. If you don't set up Facebook Pixel, there is no way you would have any sort of data. So that's the very first thing any person needs to do is the moment you set up your website, your first task should be to set up a tag manager followed by Facebook Pixel, Google Pixel inside the tag manager. That's the first thing you need to do.
I can add to that to answer like really technically, you can because you can certainly use Google Analytics to attribute your traffic that's coming from your ads back to the ads. So whenever something happens on your website, you know it's happening from one ad. But the problem here is that Facebook will not be optimizing because Facebook relies on your events that are coming from your pixel, and it will not be optimizing for the event or the objective that you want to achieve. So even though you will be running traffic to your landing page, and you will be tracking back data through Google Analytics, you will be in the dark when it comes to optimization. And optimization is what's great about Facebook. That's how campaigns are getting scaled and the great results are achieved. It's through optimization, and you would be missing on that if you don't have a pixel on your website. But there is definitely campaign objectives that don't need a Facebook pixel. Like, for example, I believe the traffic objective, because you don't need events to happen on your website. You just need to send traffic. But that's not the best way to go if you want to have a conversion happen on your website, for example, a purchase or a sign up.
I think, Minang, can you unshare your screen? Okay, perfect. Let's go through all the questions first, Minang. The next question is from Andrew. Andrew is asking, Can Scalify help with scaling with Facebook rules and identifying ads that can be sensitive for Facebook approval, like CBD products, for an example, or benefit claims that can be marketed as a too specific or broad audience? Results may vary, etc. So basically, his question is around sensitive products and Facebook rules and identifying that sensitive opportunity.
If you're asking this question, I think you are very aware of the Facebook rules and their limits. If you are into that business, then you might be knowing more about me, more than me when it comes to the terms of service. I tend to just recommend to not go to that territory because the algorithm is very sensitive, and if it catches you, it blocks your ad account or your profile or your page. Or your business, and when it happens, you can appeal. But when they see that you have been in the promoting products that are not really aligned with the terms of service, then you're done. You're not getting your account back. So I wouldn't advise advertising for something like that. But if you are into that niche, then definitely do some research. And I cannot recommend anything like. Scalify does not have any kind of safety measures when it comes to breaking the terms of service. So always try to be aligned with them.
Perfect. Let's move on to the next question. It's from Shreen. Do you have an agency license for Scalify? I run Facebook ads for customers. We're keen to learn. Definitely, Shreen, we do have an agency license. Mina, can you just quickly show to all the users this way if there are many similar questions, so I can just mark them as answered?
Absolutely. Let me just quickly share my screen and show you all the lifetime deal plans that are available with us.
No, this was specifically with regards to the agency. So let's just cover that specifically very quickly.
Yes. So there are like multiple different plans over here. The plans we recommend for agencies are the $995 lifetime deal plan, where you spend $995 and get the lifetime deal with 50 sub accounts. Because you're like a big agency, then you might be having so many clients. So yes, we have 50 sub accounts. But let's say you're a small scale agency and having less clients, then this plan should suffice. So these are the plans that we have with these sub accounts, guys.
So it completely depends upon you, Shireen, how many sub accounts and how many customers you want to manage, and accordingly you can pick one. Can you unshare your screen now so that we can know? Perfect. Now again, next question is from Theo. He's asking, FB ad seems to work for relatively high initial ad spends. Am I right? Not at all, Theo. It works for low spending as well. But Yassi, you want to add anything to this?
If you're not spending, if you cannot afford to spend a lot initially, then you can definitely use Scalify to test different interests. The more you test, obviously, the more you want to spend, because you need to spend some money in order to get some data back. But it's definitely up to how much you want to spend, and there is no minimum amount of money that you're required to spend to use Scalify.
Perfect. Moving on to the next question from Shreen. Can Scalify integrate with Kartra? I hope I pronounced that correctly.
Kartra, yes. Right now, the only integration with Kartra is through Google Analytics, I believe. We do not have an API integration yet, but we have a long list of platforms that we want to support through the API, and we're adding bit by bit. But right now, it's not available yet.
Perfect. Moving on to the next question. What I can understand, this question is from Nikhil, by the way. What I can understand till now is Scalify is best for e-commerce ads or conversion ads. So my query is, how is it going to help with someone who runs lead ads? Or let's say ads in other niches?
It is true that Scalify is focused on businesses that have websites and stores, and that want to their audience to take actions on their website. But since we launched the lifetime deal, one recurring question that's been asked all the time is the lead ads, and there are two types of lead ads. There is the lead ad in Facebook that is the objective, and the lead form that go and the lead form at the ad level. So campaign objective is lead, and the ad level is lead form, and that is not yet supported by Scalify. But you can definitely use Scalify if you have a form on your website using the conversion event, the conversion objective on your campaign, which works pretty well. So yeah, I hope that answers the question. As for the lead ads, they are already on our roadmap, and they are one of our priorities right now.
Perfect. The next question is from Andrew. Andrew is asking, can everything that Facebook Business Manager offers as in terms of automation rules can be handled by Scalify?
Yes, not just that, but a lot more. Please go ahead and if you want, you can sign up for a trial. If you are already familiar with Facebook's native automation rules, then you can sign up for a trial of Scalify and see the difference between the two, because there are many differences between the two.
Perfect. Moving on to the next question is from Nachikita. How frequently does rules implementation in Scalify?
How frequently do rules like they are checked? How the frequency of checking?
Yeah, how frequently I think the automation basically gets triggered.
Yeah, as low as 15 minutes. So that's the lowest you can get.
Okay, just a second. Okay, moving on to the next one. It's from Terence. Terence is asking, is Google Analytics the only analytics, or are there any other integrations? Does it connect with Zapier, or is there any API access?
There is no API access yet, and there is no Zapier access yet.
I think that's probably any plans when the API would be out, because I think
that's going to take a little while.
Yeah, I can understand APIs can be tricky, but I think once it's out, it opens the doors of opportunity.
Literally, yes.
Micro scaling, targeting, basically. Okay, moving on. There is a question from Steven. No, Steven, you do not get $5 million on Facebook ads. Basically, how the spending works is that you will be using your own money and you will be spending it, and Scalify will help you to learn, analyze, and help you grow up to that particular spending. So if you are spending up to $5 million per month, that's the plan you should opt for. Or if you have too many customers and if you want to split your plans, then that's what you can opt for then. Moving on to the next question from Gautam. Scalify is saying to enable web event configurations. And if I enable, then FB will pause all my ads for 3 days, which will be such a huge loss. So what's the solution?
I'm sorry, enabling what exactly?
Web event configuration.
Enabling web event. Is this related to the iOS 14 update? Because that's where.
Sure.
Yeah,
if you can rephrase your question, that will be really fantastic.
Yeah, if you are asking about the web events, the aggregated web events that you have to set up for your pixel, then that's a requirement actually. You cannot run ads to your domain without first verifying it. And if you want to track your pixel events correctly, then you need to add the events that you want to track. You have up to 8 event slots that you can choose to configure for your pixel. But that's a requirement. If you don't do that, if you only verify your domain, you'll be able to run ads. But I believe that there will be some issues with tracking. As for pausing, that's literally an issue that everybody goes through, because when you try to edit the events, yes, indeed, Facebook tells you that some ad sets may get paused, and there's only one way to fix this, is going through that process.
Okay, next question. There's a question from Kuba. Kuba, if you want to upgrade anytime when Scalify is on lifetime deal, you can upgrade at any point of stage on LTD. But once the LTD is over, then all future upgrades will be on monthly or yearly upgrades. Moving on to the next question, it's from Raghu. Will there be any support team or someone who can help me in setting up first ads? I think, Raghu, the whole purpose of doing this webinar is to help you through. So we will be going and diving next time and setting up everything from scratch in the next webinar, talking about strategies and setting it up for the first time. Also, we will be giving you the link to the community where you can start asking questions, and the whole community and the whole team will be there to help you out. We will talk about it at the end of the webinar. Since there are so many questions, there are still 90 questions, and there are more and more questions keep popping up. So let us go through all of these questions as quickly as possible so that we can answer all of you guys. The next question is from Paul. Is Scalify able to sync products automatically from our own standalone website builder, like through API or webhook?
The product catalog syncing is only available through the platforms that have an API integration with Scalify, and you can see which platforms those are on our website. However, if you have a website that does not have many products, then you can literally go inside the app and create a new product inside the app manually, and that will be added to your catalog as well. And we're adding more and more API integration as we go along and as we get future requests.
Guys, just a small request, please move all your questions to QA section instead of chat, or else it will become very difficult, especially if there are technical questions that needs to get answered. It might get missed out, so we don't want to miss that out. So please ask your questions in the Q&A section. Moving on to the next one, it's from Rakul. He's asking, I have activated one code. Can I get one more code activated? Definitely, Rakul, you can simply refund your previous code into your PitchGround wallet, and you can make a purchase, use that wallet amount, and simply make an upgrade. There is absolutely zero issue with that. Raghu is asking Magix versus Scalify. I think this is something that we have already covered. We'll be also posting a detailed comparison chart, so that should help you get to understand a bit more. The next question is from Chaitanya. He's asking, I'm working on agriculture e-learning platform with agri courses, news, government schemes, agri magazines, and webinar series on agricultural guidances. I want to provide this platform for free or for $5 or $10 per year membership with full access to the platform. So any farmer or anyone interested in agriculture can start using it easily. I want to bring a change in agriculture and dedicate it towards farmers' empowerment in agriculture. What will you suggest about the role of ads in the platform? It's basically a website-based. As of now, an app is coming up. Your advice would be really valuable. I do not want to earn profit, just want to do good for agriculture. I think, Chaitanya, that's a great thought process that you have out there. The kind of value that you want to add to the society, I think that's pretty great. In terms of getting them to start with Facebook ads, I think there's going to be a lot of learning curve that you'll have to first explain them how to even use social media, what the audiences are. So you'll have to start working on a lot of materials for them before even talking about Facebook ads. So if you don't even understand the audience or funnels or any of those things, it would not make point to give them access or ask them to start using Facebook ad rather. And most of these agricultural farmers, they don't understand these technical things. They're only very good at producing the crops and fruits and vegetables for us, right? So it would be rather better that you connect with them and market with them and get them customers and let them do what they're good at so that you can focus on what you're good at. Sometimes it's very important to focus on what you're really good at and scale on what you're good at. But if you want to connect with me on more on this, you can easily reach out to me. I'll move on to the next question. It's from Bashana. How would the product catalog syncing will happen with WooCommerce?
So as long, as soon as you connect to WooCommerce or any other platform through the API, the Scalify will collect. Scalify will ask permission to your products, and it will collect the data of your products to create a catalog. And whenever something happens, for example, you update a product on WooCommerce, or you delete or add a new product, WooCommerce sends a webhook to Scalify, and Scalify updates the catalog accordingly inside of Facebook. This way, your ads are always up to date.
Perfect. So the next question is from Brijesh. How to determine customer acquisition cost when you are running lead generation or webinar ads to use automated scaling up and the safety strategies? How to determine the customer acquisition cost when you're running any sort of lead generation ads or webinar ads, basically, and how do you want to scale? So let's say that you've built up a landing page, you have a conversion trigger over there, and you want to start scaling that up. What kind of scaling strategies you would use over there?
So yeah, in order to do that, you can have the easiest way right now to do that is to trigger the purchase event on your platform. And this way, the purchase event will be picked up by the Facebook pixel. And inside of Scalify, you simply select the strategy that you want, as we saw earlier. And it will keep looking for the purchase, the cost per purchase, and it will update your budget and scale and awaken ads, etc. accordingly. So it will. You just have to have your conversion tracking correctly set up, so that Scalify keeps track of your performance and the automation will work correctly.
Perfect. Moving on to the next question. It's an anonymous question. What are the approximate timelines to launch Facebook lead ads and Google ads?
I cannot give an exact feedback on that right now, but we try to be as specific as we can on the roadmap. Right now, because we have a lot of users joining Scalify because of or thanks to the lifetime deal, then like we have a lot of support tickets to go through, and we are trying to assist our current customers right now. And then later on, when we have a clear vision, a more clear vision, we will update our roadmap accordingly with more specific, with a more clear timeline and more precise timeline. But you can already have a look at our roadmap. It has different updates for each quarter.
Perfect. I'll move on to the next question. It's from Chris. Can we use Scalify to just analyze and optimize campaigns if we build creatives elsewhere? I think, Chris, first of all, you wouldn't need two apps because it's going to be kind of messy to manage things. Yasir, if you have a different view or opinion, do let me know.
I'm sorry, what was the question, Udit, please?
The question was that can we just use Scalify for optimization and scaling up and just set up the ads elsewhere using some other third-party app?
Definitely, yeah. You can use every module separately. You can use automation on its own without needing to run ads on Scalify itself. You can run ads on Scalify without needing automation. You can just scale ads on Scalify without needing to do anything else. You can track your performance using the Analyze module without launching or automating anything. So it's each module is independent of the other, and it helps you with a different aspect of your advertising strategy.
Perfect. So I hope that answers your question. Moving on to the next one, it's from Andrew. Can language location of the campaign be set so that so you see interest loaded in native language?
I'm sorry, there was a cut. The connection is
language location of a campaign be set so that you can see interest loaded in native language.
Oh, yeah, good question. I haven't tried this, but I can get back to that. I can get back to you on that. I believe it's related to the language of your ad account or business account, because we use the Facebook API to pull that data for interests. But
I've never seen I've never seen like interest in any other language except for English. As far as I've seen, I could be wrong over here, but I don't know. Like Facebook might have pushed something.
I believe it's because we use English a lot that we may have overlooked that, but definitely something I will look into and see if it's possible. Maybe it's possible if you have an ad account or even a Facebook profile that's using Facebook in another language, but I'm not sure, so I don't want it to give a wrong answer.
Okay, the
But,
next question.
yeah, for that, I'm sorry for that. We will. I took notes about this one, and we will make sure that it displays the correct language for the profile that was connected.
Perfect. Moving on to the next question is from Dave. Retargeting, will it cover visitors who come before I use Scalify app?
That was fast.
Yeah, definitely, Dave. You can just create a custom audience. It wouldn't matter. Moving on to the next question from Andrew. Does each Scalify code means one ad account that can be connected? No, Andrew. So with one code, you can add as many ad accounts as you want. You're just limited to ad spending. There are no other features that has been subtracted. You get every feature regardless of the plan that you pick, except for the agency sub account, which is more like a fee, which is like a separate setup, especially for agency who wants to set everything up on its own account. But if you don't have a lot of spending, then I think one code should be more than sufficient for you. It just depends upon, you need to calculate the total amount of ad spending per month you will have, because when Google ad comes up, your ad spending will probably go up. So make sure that you plan your purchase accordingly, because as they keep on adding more platforms, your ad spending will increase accordingly at the same time. So at that point of stage, you want to make sure that you are covered with that much of ad spending, either with you or your customers, however you want. The next question is from Andy. Oh, this was already covered just now. So Aniket is asking, you said Xoid almost got your FB ad accounts banned. Will that happen with Scalify? So I would not talk too much about our competitors over here in this specific webinar, but I will keep it short. My ad account actually got banned by using them because of XYZ reason. I actually contacted Facebook, and it just didn't work out. So I'm not going to talk too much about the competitor over here, especially in this webinar. So I'll move on. But if you guys want to connect with me more personally and get this question solved, then I think that will be very ideal. With Dave, will it target customers in my email list? Definitely, Dave, you can do that.
Yes, about that, a good question. We already have an integration with MailChimp, and email services is something we're looking into, and we're definitely adding more and more platforms to the supported list of email services. Right now, we have MailChimp, but definitely let us know your email service platform, and we'll add it to the list, and we go through those as we get more requests. Like we prioritize depending on how many requests we get.
Perfect. Let's move on to the next question. It's from Yaniv. Does the platform support RTL?
RTL, like right to left?
Yeah.
Good question. Can I get back to that in the group?
Yeah, sure.
But I believe
community itself.
I believe it does, because one of our developers has an ad account in Arabic, and he already tested several campaigns, I remember now, in Arabic. So, and Arabic is a right to left language.
Perfect. Moving on to the next question. Is FB Pixel required to be installed on the website to work with all the modules? Or is it required for a particular module only? You should add your pixel regardless on the website, I would say, at all point of stage, because that's the whole point. If you want to like decrease your cost and start doing better retargeting of your ads, you would require a pixel. If you don't install and if you just keep on throwing traffic, then it will become very hard for you to start optimizing, because chances of people buying a product or anything after watching your ad for the very first time is very less. Like it's very, very less. they would want to see more about it, and that's what sales is all about. So there has to be like 7 different touch points that needs to be created. Once people do that, they understand a bit more, and that's how you would get better and improve conversion. So you should you can still run ads, but you should always install pixel. That's the first thing you should do anytime you make a new website. Yasid, you want to quickly add, or can we just move on to the next question?
What you said is the same thing that I was going to say, because if you don't install the pixel on your website, then you're not telling Facebook who the people who are purchasing are. And that's the data Facebook needs in order to optimize your ads and bring you more people who are similar to those who purchased. If you don't tell Facebook who are the people who purchased, then Facebook is not going to know who to optimize for.
All right,
so
guys.
Always have the pixel on your website.
It's already been like over 2 hours. We're trying our level best, but the questions just keep popping in. So I think Jesse will have to just speed things up, because we don't want any of the questions to go unanswered. And guys, we're coming down to your question. We're going all the questions one by one on first question first serve basis, basically. So moving on to the first next question from Guru Raj is asking, can Scalify help overcome FB pixel inefficiency in conversion reporting?
Yes, but it depends on what you mean by inefficiency. But we also have Google Analytics, and we use Google Analytics in reporting as well. So that's a second layer of reporting that you can rely on if the Facebook pixel was not reliable enough.
Awesome. Moving on to the next question. It's from Just. What is the best place to start if you have never done any digital ads at all? We'll be covering this in the next webinar, Jess, so stay tuned for that. We'll be announcing that very shortly. Moving on to the next question. Will we be able to connect multiple FB ads in the same profile? Definitely you can. We have already answered this. So I'm going to move on to the next question. Vikas is asking,
just something to add about ad accounts, because I think many people are not aware of this. Is you can add multiple ad accounts, but we also made it easy to add multiple profiles, because we know that so many people have different profiles and they use different businesses on different profiles. So you can link like 5 different profiles to the same Scalify account, and you can have access to all of your ad accounts under the same roof without having to switch between all the Facebook profiles.
Perfect. Moving on to the next question, and I think this is probably one of my favorite questions as well. Is there a dark mode available? I think we probably have a bit.
Oh my God! Like I'm a big fan of dark mode, but dark mode is not yet available on Scalify. What a shame!
I was checking on for dark mode. I think I probably missed out, but dark mode is a must. Like, or we are all obsessed.
Definitely. I agree, 100%.
This is probably the best questions.
100%, yeah.
Okay, Vikas. Moving on to the next one from Timothy. He's asking, would it be nice to add AI in the future to make recommendations to optimize ad, or does it already does Scalify already has AI?
So the current state of the app does not have AI, like the technical word. We don't use AI in marketing, because we don't use machine learning or like real AI. I know that some of our competitors like they double down on the AI keyword, and so many people don't know really what AI is. So they're just using AI as a hype word to get them to buy the product. But since we don't really use AI, we use conditions, and so we don't market with AI. That being said, we also have a feature in the works that's going to show you it's basically an addition to the analyze module, and it will show you the difference between the performances of your each of your split testing option. So for example, when you test male versus female, you will see data metrics for that split test, and it will tell you suggestions on what you need to do, if whether you need to pause one segment or not, whether you need to increase budget on a campaign. So it will be like your assistant and tell you what you need to do next in order to optimize. But for now, what we already have in automation is good enough, we believe, and we don't really need AI in order to have a good product, because what we do here is basically what we do ourselves, replicated in software. And these are conditions and checks that happen every 15 minutes, say, for example. And there are conditions that need to be, actions that need to be taken whenever a condition is met. So if you want to call this AI, then you can call it AI, but we don't call it AI because the academic word is not appropriate for what we do.
Perfect. Moving on to the next question is from Aruna. Since Facebook changed their attribution model to 7 days, how would Scalify directly be integrating with a website would help track conversion better?
Sorry, is the
Let me break
question
down
related to?
Yeah, it's related to attribution window.
The attribution window?
Yeah. So the attribution window right now is like 1 day and 7 days, right? They've cut down 28 days attribution window. So will integrating Scalify help to understand the tracking better?
So one of the actions that you need to take in order to overcome this issue of attribution window, as we covered in this webinar, is you don't want to rely in your retargeting on the data that you collect from the website. Although you don't need to ignore the data that you need to collect from the website, but you should rely more on the